We're live. We are live. What's going on, guys? So what's happening, guys? What's going on, guys? What's happening, guys? What's happening? Reham, you're first. Reham. Sabi, good to see you. Scar, good to see you. Carson, what's going on? Carson, you went back. Why not Sumit? Why'd we go to Sumit and then back to Carson? Is because I addressed you as Carson in the last stream. And you're like, he prefers Carson, so I'm going back to Carson. So I think no matter what, you're always Carson. It's impossible for you to be. It's impossible for you to go back to Samit or anything else. You're forever Carson. That's right. Neil, what's going on? Hud, good to see you. Bayram, what's going on? Guys, give the video a like. Come in the live stream. Give the video a like. Ravinder, what's going on, Ravinder? Afi Turgu. Yeah. Does anyone know where this shirt's? Does anyone know what this shirt is? Does anyone know what this shirt is? What's going on, Nakia? Emil SH. What's going on? Truth Teller, what's up? Joy, what's happening? I mean, we could do Usmle questions. Okay. I mean, if I don't get Usmle questions, I'll just end the live stream. Quick question. Is it true that old free 120 is easier than the new NBMEs? The free 120 and the NBMEs are the same. It has nothing to, old, new, doesn't matter. I could give you an old NBME, like ancient history NBME, and you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference from the new NBMEs. So apart from font, if I give you the same questions, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You just said the old free 120 got 70%. Is that good? Yeah, it's good. I'd say anything 70 and greater is good. Kill Bill, it's not Kill Bill. You guys don't know what this shirt is? Are you serious? How do you not know this shirt? Like, this shouldn't be hard, this shirt. You're kidding me right now. That you can't see that shit? I mean, it says it on the fucking shirt. But you should know this like face. Laughable. Yes, Cigar. It's from the new movie Barbie. Yeah, that's right. I'm wearing a Barbie shirt. Let me just let other people know I started this live stream. Live. Guys, give video a like if you're coming in. Let's see here. What do you think about doing more short videos? I should do more short videos. I just don't really have interest in doing them. Doing short videos for like YouTube is just, and like reels for Instagram is just because you are supposed to, quote unquote, as a content creator. Shouldn't you do everything? Shouldn't I make fucking LinkedIn videos? Right? Shouldn't I post 4 or 5 times a day to Threads and to Twitter and do TikTok and all this other bullshit? Discord, Twitch. Why don't I do everything? You're supposed to, right? I mean, you get a lot of people who do like shorts on YouTube. It's true. They don't do lives like I do, though. I've been streaming fucking daily. They don't do that. I'd say it's harder to do lives. You know what I mean? Than your little like bullshit shorts. I just think medical shorts are like boring. That's why I think they're stupid. I don't. It's just like, hey guys, Hashimoto thyroiditis for 45 seconds. Isn't that so fun? Um, I could. Um, I don't know. I don't really have an interest in doing shorts. I don't like gravitate toward them. Let's see. Cigar, no. Raj, how long should it take to do 2 blocks for step one? Uh, I mean, shouldn't a block be about an hour? I don't really know what to say to that. Just whatever it comes out to. It should be about an hour for a block. AFI Turgo. Do you think I can do my clinical rotations at the same time with my dedicated prep? Or should I postpone? Definitely don't do rotations at the same time as you're doing your dedicated. It's a bad idea. I don't like when students have the Usmle like during the middle of their rotations. We talk about step one. That's always a bad fucking idea. For step two, I mean, you should have it dedicated built into your school's like calendar. It's not a good idea to have to like be on rotations while you're like in end game for USMLE. It's not a good mix. Ankita, Syed, thanks. Syed Ahmed, thanks. Syed Ahmed, yeah, I recognize you. You DM'd me on Instagram and you said that you're like a follower of my YouTube. You were like really like ardent and like positive. You were like, you said you're a follower of my YouTube, which clearly you are, but then you weren't following my Instagram. I thought that was like interesting because like I happen to recognize your name from my live streams. You've been in my live streams. Um, and so normally if people DM me and they're not following my Instagram, I just like delete them without responding. Um, but I was like, that's like interesting. I was like, I'm not going to tell, I wasn't going to tell you to follow. I didn't say follow, but I just thought it was interesting that like you weren't following my Instagram. Um, let's see, Ankita Fulia. The Q&A maybe 27 says laxative abuse causes metabolic acidosis, shouldn't be alkalosis. No, I mean, why don't you do my high yield arrows PDF? I've said a million times that any resource that says laxative abuse, alkalosis, fucking wrong. Okay. Literally, go to my high yield arrows PDF. I will have it right there. Laxative use is a down arrow potassium, up arrow chloride, down arrow bicarb, down arrow pH, right? Normal anion gap. So, I mean, that's what you need to know about laxative use. And then vomiting and, loops and thiazides for diuretic abuse are the same. Down arrow potassium, down arrow chloride, up arrow bicarb, up arrow pH, right? So, I mean, this is pretty fucking basic stuff, no pun intended or anything, but it's like, kind of have to know that. Some people have floated that question in the Telegram group about like I don't know whether it was Amboss or UWorld or FA, and they had said like it could be both, and it's fucking wrong. Okay. Laxative abuse is going to be metabolic acidosis. And also for 2C, you need to know basically if you lose GI contents from the level of the duodenum down, you get a metabolic acidosis. If you lose GI contents from stomach up, you get a metabolic alkalosis. It's a question on 2CK surge form where they say someone had like, I don't know, like a Billroth 2 cystojejunostomy procedure, some procedure, and then they had a drain in the duodenum and they had a low bicarb. And they wanted to know why. And the answer was just loss of GI bicarb. So you need to know that if you lose GI contents from the duodenum down, that you're going to get a metabolic acidosis, not non-anion gap or not a high anion gap because clearly it's not mud piles. Zamik. What's going on, Zamik? Let's see. When do we know to increase oral opioid dosage versus transitioning to IV morphine, or when to switch oral opioid? Oh, you're thinking of like post-surgery, acetaminophen and oxycodone. Yeah, you need to know that post-surgery, that's what they like. So don't go straight to morphine if the patient has pain. Post-surgery, you need to know that it's acetaminophen plus oxycodone combo. They like that. For cancer pain, it's similar. Like you always want to upgrade as you need to handle pain as tolerated. To treat pain, you don't want to go to the upper end opioids like meperidine, fentanyl, morphine. Like you want to avoid those until last resort because you're talking severe constipation, respiratory depression, dependence, right? So, um, Right. So, but for cancer pain, you want to titrate upward. Let's see. And there's a question, of course, on the NBME exam where they mention toxicity of opioid, and the answer is something like opioid is morphine is metabolized into active metabolites that accumulate. That's like the answer on the NBME form. Some of you probably know what I'm talking about. Guys, give the video a like if you're coming to the live stream. It's 35 of you here, and only 14 have liked it. Help the algorithm out. Karthik, good to see you. Hey, happy Saturday. Is that Mila? It's not. It's Sunday here in Japan. It's 4:44 a.m. I'm cracked out right now. I'm like maxed cracked out because I didn't nap. But I just needed to like start the live stream. No, this is no one knows who this is on my shirt. Are you serious? Like no one has guessed who this is? Like what movie this is? It says it on my shirt. Let's see. Let's see. Adam Gaby. Hi Mike, any recommendations on whom to follow for real estate advice in the US? What the fuck do you think this is? You think I follow real estate? I'm not into real estate. I do crypto. My Y prime. Is there a specific order of studying your PDF? I mean, it doesn't. It depends on how late you are in your prep. If you're like very late, I say make sure you know high yield arrows. If you're earlier in your prep and you're starting PDFs with QBank, as I've said to do repeatedly, I like people generally doing cardio, pulm, renal, gastro, heme, dermatology. Obviously, do immunobiochem, neuroanatomy, do the PDFs, but you got to know your basic organ systems like cardio, pulm, renal, gastro, and heme. You got to know that stuff. Ravinder, Resident Evil. It's not. HUD, change the light, please. Why? You're not Div. Div tends to be the one who says change the light. Are you a girl or a guy, HUD? Mariam Paso. What's going on? Looks like the chick from Species, says Nakia. It's not. Angela White shirt. I don't know who Angela White is. If this is actually this actress's name, I wouldn't know. I know her name in the movie. She's not like an actress that's like in many movies. Like she was like a one-hit wonder kind of thing, like in one movie. Joy Rahab Kalo. Doc, will my UWorld pace improve as I progress through the questions? The answer is maybe not. I can't seem to do more than 50 a day. Well, that's fine. I said 40 a day is like the minimum you should be doing. I'll show it as I need to, Syed. I don't need to put it in people's faces. Muskin MG. Every time I see your username, I immediately think of membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis because of like MPGN, but you're just missing the P there. Hey, Mike, according to you, what percentage should one get per block? How many correct maximum? How many correct maximum? What do you mean correct maximum? Do you mean minimum? I've said for QBank, I like seeing in the 60s and above. For NBMEs, bare fucking minimum, like 66. Bare minimum. Adelie, do you think going to the beach the day before the exam is a good idea? They say walking on the sand barefoot. I think going to the beach is a good idea. Don't get like burned. Don't do that. Have a chill day the day before. Don't get your energy zapped. I wouldn't do anything you don't normally do. Don't fucking have it where like you never fucking go to the beach and then now you're gonna go out and like lie in the sun, even with sunscreen or something. Don't do unusual things like that. Just like you can go for a walk on the beach, like not in peak hours, maybe like 5 p.m. or something where it's cooler and the sun's not as intense, and you go for like a chill walk on the beach or something. Like that's fine. But I wouldn't be lying out in the sun fucking like 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. or anything. That I would not do the day before your exam. Could zap your energy. Rami Remolina. What's going on? Hey, Mike, this is Paria Remolina from another account. Okay. Could you explain the difference between non-receptor tyrosine kinase and receptor tyrosine kinase mutations? I haven't like seen that in terms of any having them care about that. I haven't seen that. Like I've seen specific obviously tyrosine kinases in general are like important, right? Like MAP tyrosine kinase is insulin, right? JAK-STAT tyrosine kinase is growth hormone and prolactin. Although the latter, that's a tricky one. They give you a question with like some tumor where they say, I think it's like growth hormone. I think it was like an acromegaly scenario, but they said G alpha S was upregulated. You need to know CAMP for that one. But BCR-ABL tyrosine kinase, right? CML, EGFR tyrosine kinase is non-small cell lung cancer, or lotinib inhibits that. Also, glioblastoma multiforme is EGFR tyrosine kinase, right? Some brain cancers. So, I mean, I haven't ever seen like an NBME question where they're like, OMG, is this like receptor versus non-receptor? Gotcha. Like, I've never seen that. So if you've seen that in an NBME question, not some bullshit fucking Amboss question, I'm talking about like an actual, like it's on NBME 31 or something, and no one's shown me yet. Like if they actually make a production out of that, you can let me know. But apart from that, you should just know like some of the tyrosine kinases I just mentioned. Let's see. I just lost where I was. Karthik. My own Usmle question is step one and maybe form 31. Should I make the time to squeeze that in the last week of prep? Or just focus on maybe 30? You want to get 31 done as well. Remy, it's come up a couple times. Yeah, well, I'd like to fucking, as I said, what you're going to do then, Remy, is you're going to DM me on Instagram. That's what you're going to do. I want you to DM me on Instagram. And I got to make sure you're following. Otherwise, I'm going to just delete the message. But I want you to be like, hey, this is like Paria or whatever. I was mentioning in the live stream non-receptor versus receptor tyrosine kinase. Here's an actual NBME question. And I'll be like, okay, they cared. Not some Amboss fucking bullshit question. Okay. I don't want to, nothing from QBank. When you say a couple times, I'm skeptical of that. Bayram, Suha. I started studying step 2 from Amboss this week. My initial percentages are low, around 30-40%. I'm like, what the fuck? I was doing 80s a few months ago in step 1. Do you think this matters? I would say that matters. And I don't know how you go from 80s down to 30s, 40s. That seems a little dramatic because 80s is like high. 80s is like you're acing things. And 30s to 40s is you know jack fucking shit and you're in the like first year med or something. So let's not like be facetious. Let's not pretend that we had this dramatic fall from grace and that we're going from 80s down to like 35%. Let's not feign that we had some dramatic fall and now like why are we being dramatic about things? Didn't fucking happen. Zamik, having trouble picking between depression and adjustment disorder. Sometimes maybe you get slick by mentioning like 4 out of 5 criteria for MDD, but they don't give a fuck about SIGI caps. The real Usmle doesn't give a fuck about 5 out of 9 SIGI caps. They don't care. Like they'll literally, especially the 2CK psych questions, they'll literally just give you like old dude had an MI because traumas or illnesses can precipitate, right? Or a loved one dies, for instance. They'll be like, old dude had like an MI like a month ago. He's like teary eyed, and that's like it. And he's teary eyed and he's lost like 5 pounds. And the answer will just be MDD. And then the student's like, oh, but they didn't get 5 out of 9 SIGI. They don't give a fuck. They don't have to. Okay. Weight change is as per my observation, weight loss, rarely weight gain, but weight loss is like a huge fucking giveaway for MDD on USMLE. That's one of the ways that they like to just have you clinch the diagnosis with it. Adjustment disorder, they can give that to you with like different moods as well, like on 2CK forms. Adjustment disorder with like depressed mood, or adjustment disorder with anxious mood, right? But that's usually going to be under 3 months. And that's going to be sociooccupational dysfunction, okay? So specific stressor, right? Moving locations or a breakup, something like that. Raj Matthew, how long should it take to review 2 UWorld blocks for step 1? 2 hours, I would say. No, sorry, I'm thinking like blocks of 10. I like people doing blocks of 10. Okay, so 4 blocks of 10 so 2 hours to do 20 questions, I think is good. So if you're talking 80 questions, it could be 8 hours. Ayada Lee, are you interested in doing videos about defense mechanisms, personality disorders? I am not interested in that. I'm not. I have like no site clips on my YouTube because I have no fucking interest. As the QBank develops, that will be eventually what like people talk about. It'll be like, oh, like on Reddit in fucking like 5 years or something. Be like, oh, could you do Mehlman's like audio QBank instead of YouWorld? Because if let's say I have 1,600 questions or 1,800 questions, who knows, right? On that rather than 800 like I have now. But can you just do that QBank instead of like Amboss or something? And the answer will be, oh, but he doesn't have psych or he doesn't have like biostats or whatever. And I'll just be like, I could easily get up on it now. Don't give a fuck. Okay. Like, I have no interest in doing like biostats questions. People will be like, why didn't you do biostats like 5 years from now? Don't give a fuck. Still don't give a fuck. Syed Ahmed, yes, I've been on your live streams for a while. I'm sorry, I barely use Instagram. I'm following you on Instagram now. Good. It's a good idea. Humans aren't fucking stupid. Like you don't just accidentally not follow people on Instagram. Like people like, it's like, people aren't fucking stupid. Let's see. Or maybe people are stupid. Omar Dahar. Hey, are you a happy person? I mean, you could ask that to like everyone, right? I mean, I don't know. That's a long discussion. I would say in some ways, yes. Like in other ways, we all want improvement. So like that's, I don't think that's a black or white question. And I don't really feel like doing like a whole like psychoanalysis right now. Syed Ahmed, been following you on your live streams. Yes. John Bashara, 210 NBME 27. Okay, good. Exam in 9 days. Pray for me. Well, your scores are good. There's other people I need to like pray for where they are like 197, literally. 197, 189, 202. I got people like that who are dancing around that fucking pass mark, and their exam is like in 4 days, 5 days. Okay, so I got to deal with that fucking shit as well. Dr. Dre, what's your thought on Chadu's success lately? I haven't been paying attention to Chadu's success lately. Dima M, if I got some of your high yield arrows wrong, I'm not going to like downgrade anything or denigrate, but I mean, I'm aware he uses apps a lot, so I don't have any. And even if he says it's not from apps, I don't really. If you want to gain my respect, I think the reason I've been ignoring it is because I don't have respect for like guys who talk about outcomes they have through using their dumb little fucking low IQ beta app. Like I'm old school like wooden tennis racket where it's like, if you're going to meet a chick, I think you should walk up to her in real life and say hi. None of this like, I'm using my little bullshit beta app. That's why I don't care about like dudes' stories from fucking apps. Let's see, Dima M. If I got some of your high yield arrows wrong, a month should I do arrows again in 1 week out? Well, yeah. I mean, you should be focusing on the NBME exams. I've said that right in the final month. Obviously, arrows, I've said rules in highly specific for you passing step 1. So if you know those concepts really well, Dima, then you should do well in step 1. People who fail step 1, I can ask them questions from high yield arrows and like they'll get them wrong. Simple questions like aldosterone high versus low. They'll get the questions wrong, and I'm like, those are literally the first 2 questions of high yield arrows. Literally high versus low aldosterone. Mahmood, I make which NBMEs are more important as complete memorization at 20 through 31, all of them, including free 120. Syed Ahmed. Mike, I know it annoys you when I ask about UWSA, but I did UWSA 1, score was low. I've done much better on the NBMEs. UWSA 1 NBME or UWSA 1 difficulty level was definitely higher, so demotivated. Yeah, I mean, your cuck situation is exactly why I don't prescribe UWSAs, because it's exactly as I fucking said, literally to a T. And it's because I've said that the real Usmle is not the UWSAs, or the other way I should say, UWSAs are not the real Usmle, the NBME exams are. So if you take UWSA and you get like a 220, good, we're happy. But the problem is when your NBMEs were pretty decent, but now your UWSA 1 was shitty or UWSA 2 was shitty. And even though it's not the real NBME, now we've got a fucking data point where, we've put a dagger into our equanimity and our confidence regarding whether we can sit. So if you get a shitty score on a UWSA, we can't ignore it now. It's like ordering an unnecessary lab test and the person's like fucking positive for it. And it's like, well, now you have to follow it up, even though you didn't even have to order it in the first place. You're like, why is there prolactin like 20 times the upper limit of normal? It's like, well, why'd you fucking order the prolactin when they had like appendicitis or whatever? And it's like, now you got to follow that up. It's like, do you need a pituitary MRI? Like, what are we doing now? So, student gets a shitty UWSA score. Now I got to be like, do we need to do NBMEs 19, 18? So we have to do the old ones. You got maybe 3, 4, 5 for step one, like old school NBMEs to get you additional scores. So we have that confidence again. Karthik, hey. Jinty, what's going on, Jinty? F chat, good to see you again. Let's see. John Bashara, Kanye. Could you clear up what the fuck we need to know for JVD? Clarify what centimeter above the sternal notch, whatever, anatomic landmark shit is physiologic versus pathologic. Fucking annoying. 3 centimeters above is normal. So if they tell, I've done this in my YouTube MCQs. I've talked about this, where if they say 3 centimeters above the sternal angle, that's normal. That's just your normal jugular venous pulsation. That's not JVD. So students get tripped up with that. Like, if they say 3 centimeters, you're like, oh, it's elevated. It's not. How's that elevated? It's not elevated. It's supposed to be 3 centimeters. That's all you need to know, literally. And JVD just means impaired right heart filling. So that could be literally, you've got right heart failure, right? Congestive heart failure, right heart failure, like due to core pulmonale, could be congestive heart failure, right? Constrictive pericarditis could be like Panicos tumor, SVC syndrome, brachiocephalic syndrome, right? So that's what JVD just means, just impaired right heart filling, cardiogenic shock, right? So if you get a shock question, low blood pressure, but there's JVD, the answer would be cardiogenic shock, right? Pulmonary capillary wedge pressure would be an up arrow for that. So that's what JVD refers to. That's right, Amir. You retract your fucking message. That's right. Retract that message. Nate Rono. Good to see you. I think it's the first time I've seen you in my chat here. Hello, I'm on your website and I can't see high yield micro. That's because there is no high yield micro, but there's a high yield derm. Dermatology is loaded with micro. And I've said that I've got micro on my YouTube, tons of it. I've got the PowerPoints. If you go to my playlist, not only do I have the 5-minute MCQs, but I've got 45-minute PowerPoints on micro. I should mention I actually have a virus PDF. I have a virology PDF. Some of you didn't know that. But that's not that's on the free stuff tab, but it's down below the PDFs. It's in the free assessments. If you do one of the microbiology assessments, it's actually have a virology PDF there. Let's see. HUD says walking the beach barefoot will get you ankylostoma. So hookworm, you're saying? I've seen hookworm being a girl on the NBME, a girl who's walking barefoot in Louisiana. I've seen that. Walking barefoot on the beach on NBME 19. There's a question for Vibrio vulnificus, not Vibrio perihemolyticus. Vibrio perihemolyticus, there's a question with eating sushi. Vibrio vulnificus, NBME 19, I think it is a dude running on a beach. Okay, Vibrio vulnificus, the answer, he had sepsis from that. Let's see. Remy or Paria. Also, thoughts on offline NBME, or should I just purchase each one? You can do them offline. I mean, they're in our Telegram group. Kanye also looking lean, man. The transformation is insane. You ever come across an old vid of yours and reminisce on how much progress you've made, or just keep moving forward without giving a fuck? Reminisce means you wish for the past. I try not to have negative self-talk, but it's not difficult for me to when YouTube recommends my own fucking videos to me, if I'm at the gym or something, it's like on autoplay, and it's like, we recommend audio QBank question 525 or something. And then it shows up and I'm like, yes, I'm aware I used to be like heavier, or but I try not to have like negative self-talk. But that's when you do daily clips, they become a documentation of your appearance at the same time. But I try not to have negative self-talk about how maybe I've had improvements or improvements, or go the other way. Sometimes you just can't you can't think too much of it. HUD, I'm a girl, you say? Well, I was wondering because I think did you ask about my mood earlier? What did you ask? No, you said change the light. That's why. Because Div asked about changing the light, and I was like, I feel like that's like a chick thing, right? Chicks want like a good mood. You want to be in the right mood. That's what it comes down to, right? You want to be in the right mood. Is that it, head? You want to be in the right mood? Let's change it up. Let's see. There we go. How's that? We better now? How's that? Clearly works. This remote. I just fucking used it there we go. How's that? Let me see. Dima, do you have a PDF with tumor suppressors, oncogenes? I do on my computer, on my desktop right now, but I haven't put it on my website, and I have no interest in doing that. But I have a brilliant, like world-class table on my desktop, high-yield path that I haven't published yet. I have tumor suppressors and oncogenes. Brilliant fucking table. All the high-yield information. I'm not trolling right now. I just haven't put it up. And students will say like, "Oh, that's what they like want" or whatever. I just haven't put it up, but it's on my desktop actually. Let's see. Saturday for high-yield arrows. Fuck yeah. Have you ever had the chance to look at MMEs 13, 14 or 2CK? What do you think about them? I don't sit in my room in Japan with like NBME 13 for fun and go through it, or 14. I've had students do questions from them and like have sent me different questions from them. Anytime a new NBME comes out, there's going to be different sentiment. That's how it is. Like there's going to be sentiment that some of the questions are left field or hard, and then when you're like me and you tutor these things, and over time, you say yes. Like a student shows you the question for like the 18th time, and you're like, yes, I know it's really fucking weird or like left field. I agree with you, but that's what they want. You get used to it when you're me. But like when students are seeing new forms, yes, there's going to be like left field questions. But if you have another question as far as like, well, are they truly represented, or is the exam material changing or evolving, where there's actually like disparity between like the newer forms 13, 14, and 12 and earlier? I'd say the answer is no. For the most part, I'd say just the questions are the same. Like I've seen like enough questions with students. Like I haven't gone through them formally, but like I've seen like various questions from those forms. And students will show me weird ones too. Like they don't just show me like the easy ones that they had no problem with. Truth teller, hey Mike, may I ask if it's possible to do 3 blocks of online and maybe in one day, and to the next day, or does the software force you? I would not do 3 blocks of an online NBME in one day. I would get the whole thing done in one day. Random name. Do we have to finish URL to take step 1? I would. I've said that. I want you finishing all of the QBank and then doing all the NBMEs 20 through 31, free 120. Ramy. I got it from UWorld. It was mentioned at least 3 times. Yeah, exactly. Not fucking UWorld, not NBME, as I said. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Paul B. Having trouble differentiating between somatic symptom, factitious disorder. One question we had to assume she takes extrinsic insulin. The other had 35 years of symptoms with normal everything. What the fuck? Don't really know what to tell you. Factitious disorder is primary gain. Like they want the medical care, right? Like they're seeking medical care. They're willing to undergo invasive procedures. Okay, Munchausen by proxy. One way to differentiate that from malingering, for instance, is malingering secondary gain. Like they are not willing to undergo invasive procedures. Okay, so that's a big thing. Somatic symptom disorder, obviously unconscious symptom production, unconscious motive. I don't really like psych. I find it really, really boring, even just to talk about now. Reham, hey Mike, I seem to always mess up on vasculitides. How should I study them? I have a fucking amazing chart in my high-yield cardio PDF on vasculitides, literally. And I use the word vasculitides too. Like go into my high-yield cardio PDF and Control F, search vasculitides, and I have a chart on all, Wegener, Church, Strauss, microscopic pyelonephritis. They're all there. Raj, Matthew, appreciate your help. Content. Syed Ahmed 20. Can you please tell how to? We're just doing all content questions. Please, how where to study the concept of cholinergic versus anticholinergic effects. I mean, my pharm modules. Go to my website and go to free stuff tab, and right below all the PDFs, you've got my pharm modules there, and you can do all the cholinergic, anticholinergic stuff. They're right there. And of course, my pharm Anki, I talk about stuff too. Rami, Super Odd Q. No, I'm not going to mention that here. Abud, what is the best way to study general pathology? Well, my PDFs, because people say, like, just because I put out a strict like histopath PDF, they're like, Mike, I need to study path. It's like, okay, go to my fucking cardio PDF and there's path there. Go to my GI PDF, it's loaded with path. Go to my renal PDF, it's loaded with path. Images as well. So like, go to each individual PDF, they're all path. Mike, I'm stupid. I genuinely did not follow you on Instagram on purpose. I'd follow you twice, to be honest. The blocks of 10 have helped a lot, by the way. No, I think people don't. I think maybe you say that about you, like you're trolling, but I think like if people choose not to follow on Instagram, that's very much on purpose. I would say at least 9 times out of 10 that would be on purpose. You can't be that fucking stupid. Like you find someone's account and then you're like, I'm gonna like DM them and like not, follow versus not follow, not fucking difficult, not rocket science. Okay. Ali, hey Mike, if I had to choose two NBMEs to do between 20 to 21, 20, 21, 30, 31, I'm 1 week out. I don't really care. Just do 30 and 31 then. Ankita, yeah, you're the first person who said the Fifth Element. My shirt's clearly Fifth Element. This is Lilu from Fifth Element. You don't recognize this chick from Fifth Element? You serious? So let's see. Shiza Khan. I'm struggling biostats. Step 2, losing easy points, NBMEs. What should I do? Should I do your PDF for biostats? That's a good idea. Let's see. Where was I? Hoden. 2.5 months left. Do you think I can do it with the UWorld QBank and your high-yield NBMEs? High-yield NBMEs are rescheduled exam. My basics are week up to pass so that I can take the TCK in February 2024. If you have 2.5 months left for step 1, I would do a month and a half of QBank with my high-yield PDFs and YouTube MCQs. So you're going to do 40 questions in the morning from QBank, and then you're going to do my PDFs and YouTube MCQs in the afternoon, evening. And then a month out, you're going to start all the NBME exams. Syed, I didn't want to do UWorld self-assessment based on your advice, but I've done so many NBMEs, I thought I might as well do it. Do high-yield arrows past 2 days, brilliant. Paul B, damn, you missed when I had asked earlier, but I got 66 on my last 2 NBMEs, and my step is in 10 days. How safe am I on a scale of 1 to 10? Not very safe. I'd want to see your other NBMEs. Robert, hi Mike, do you think your QBank covers a good chunk of the concepts which should appear on step 1? The answer is yes. Or how helpful do you see it in terms of passing step? Very helpful. I do like 10 to 20 of those per day. Great stuff. Yeah, they are great. I agree with that. Kanye, it's insane how many posts on the step 2 subreddit are portraying the exam as some other worldly beast, but then when you look at what they did to prepare, they did 0 NBME material and only did QBank. Well, it's bad preparation. Kanye, then they wonder why they feel the exam was nothing they'd ever seen before. Absolutely laughable. AR, aortic regurg, studying currently. Give a like to your video. Gonna miss the live today. Good day, Mike. Robert Constantine Anakai, I asked this because you always say high-yield arrows, well memorized. Step past, great PDF, by the way. It's great to learn it. Hey, Mike, I'm taking step 2 CK at the end of December and started UWorld right now. Right now, yeah, you need 4 months. How many days, weeks should I realistically plan for just CMS and BBs, considering I'm working full-time? Oh, you're working full-time. Well, you're working full-time right now. So August, September, October, November, December. I mean, generally, if you can study full-time, not be working full-time. I have 8 to 9 weeks for all the CMS forms twice and all the NBME exams. Okay, so if you're working full time, you're going to need, I don't know, maybe 3 months to do all the CMS forms twice on the MBA exam 6 through 8, free 120, 9 through 14. By the way, thank you so much. I literally passed step 1 because of you while working full time. As PhD in the US, you are king. It's good news. So, difference between Meckel's diverticulitis, necrotizing enterocolitis. There was a question on maybe 27. Well, they're high yield conditions. I mean, it's a lot to talk about, right? I mean, Meckel's diverticulum, I'd say the most important thing is that it doesn't have to be around age 2. It can give you a 19-year-old, and I've seen students get it wrong. They're like, I thought it had to be like rule of twos. It's fucking bullshit. Okay, they can give you a 19-year-old. The highest yield thing you got to know is that it has 2 types of heterotopic tissue. Pancreatic gastric cause bleeding. Okay, do a technetium 99 scan that localizes to the terminal ileum. It's called a Meckel scan. Okay, and that's what you need to know about Meckel diverticulum, true diverticulum, right? Diverticulitis is going to be elderly. It's going to be a patient over the age of 50, usually 60, but it can be in the 50s occasionally. And that's going to be left lower quadrant pain and fever. Okay, diagnosed with CT scan. With contrast, necrotizing enterocolitis is going to be a hyperpremie. So be a kid born like 26 weeks gestation, is in ICU, and has pneumatosis intestinalis, which is air in the bowel wall. That's necrotizing enterocolitis. Let's see, David Wood. Hey, Micah scored 70 on my MBA comp exam. Good. I'll be sitting for step 1 next month. Any suggestions how to prepare me in the next few weeks if the enemy is 25, 30? If you have your exam in 1 month, you've done 25, 30. What I would do is I'd want to know when you did 25 through 30. Okay. Did you not do 31 is another question I'd have. So if you literally just finished 25 to 30, like literally just finished them, I wouldn't redo them. But if you did them, like, let's say over the past couple months, I would have you just redo 25 through 30 again, as though you've never done them, not care about your scores because you clearly have done them. Then I would have you do free 120. Then I would have you do 20 through 24, then 31. That's what I would do. Let's see, Dima. Damn, high path of world-class table sounds the greatest thing for a week out. It is. I'm serious. On my desktop right now, I have a excellent tumor suppressor gene, oncogene table with all the genes in there, and people would really want that. I'll put out that stuff later this year. I'll get to like PDF stuff. I will. Sad, you changed your light because HUD asked you to, but you can't show me that golden watch. I think it's like, I'll show it sometimes. Javed, Syed. I don't like the blue though. I did change it for HUD. I don't like the blue. I don't want the blue right now. I'm in like a red mood. I prefer red right now. Let's see. Shrikant Garj, what's going on? Angela, I like your outfit today. Angela, do you know where this? Because you're just popping in. Do you know this face? Do you know this face? Like where this is from? It's hard for me to like keep the face. Yeah, there you go. I try to like keep it showing. My chest is like too big, so like it keeps like making a fold right here, and then like you can't see the face. Let's see, Ramy, thanks for everything, Mike. See you next time. Wiat Nielsen, I made liquid nitrogen rockets, made a video. It was wild. Do you pray? I don't pray. Syed Ahmed, yeah, I agree. 90% of people don't follow on Instagram. Instagram is the world of ego. I don't like it too much anyway. 90% don't follow on Instagram on purpose. Hey Mike, what's up? Step 1 material should review for what step 1 material should I review for step 3? It's funny that you asked that because like there's people, the recent feedback for step 3 is because it's a 2-day exam that people on the first day are literally getting like crazy fucking step 1 questions. Like what's the mechanism of action of aminoglycoside? And the answer is 30S, like on their step 3. They could be experimental, they want to see what questions like people are forgetting over time. That's possible. We could speculate, we don't know. But there's step 1 material showing up on step 3. To answer your question, E, I would just study for 2CK3 material. I wouldn't worry about step 1. I wouldn't worry about minutiae. I've said do the CMS forms for step 3. I've said do all the 2CK, NBMEs 6 through 14, as well as free 120. I've said do all that. Hello, doctor. When you do tour of your place, you want me to do like a video, a tour of my place? Why? Why do you want that? Toby, why do you want to tour my place? You want to see like how like affluent of a place I live in? You want to see, does Mike have like, 3 additional rooms that he has not showing us, or does he have just like the door to the outside right behind that door? Like, how elaborate is this place? Is that like what you want to know? I mean, if you're wondering, like, yes, I could buy a Lamborghini if I wanted to. I don't have interest. I could buy a Lamborghini. I could buy a house. I don't want to. I think Bitcoin's a better investment. Sean Pack, are you a doctor? Yes, I am. Do I practice? No, but I graduated med school. Angela, I don't recognize the face. What? Oh, it's Lilu from Fifth Element. You guys don't know Lilu from Fifth Element, the orange hair chick? If this weren't a black and white shirt, then like I guess you guys would know easier. I said Fifth Element's one of my favorite movies. Let's see, Khalid. Step 1 exams in 8 weeks. I still have 250, or dyslexic, 2,500 UWorld MCQs. What's your advice? My advice is you're going to be done with UWorld in a month. So the final month, Khalid, is going to be all NBMEs. It's going to be 20 through 24, then free 120, then 25 31. That's your final month. But you're going to be done with UWorld by the start of that final month. Okay, so we have to prioritize. I would say you're probably just not going to finish UWorld, because if you do 80 a day, you could race through it, right? 80 a day, 80 times 30, 2,400, right? So, I mean, you could race through it pretty much, but I think I also want you to get through my PDFs and my YouTube MCQs. You do 40 a day in UWorld, YouTube MCQs, PDFs. I think that you could actually get a higher Usmle score. I have that much confidence in my resources. Sayed Ahmed. Sorry, that was an error. I meant to say Meckles versus necrotizing enterocolitis. Got it now. Thank you so much. Yeah, those are not hard to distinguish, Meckel versus necrotizing enterocolitis. Those are like very high, like extraordinarily different diagnoses. Not even close. Things that are like more difficult would be like congenital midgut volvulus versus intussusception, because they can both present exactly the same fucking way. They can both present with squatting, like intermittent crying, blood in the stool. Okay, like they sound the same. They can both present with bilious vomiting. They can both present with X-ray shows dilated loops of small bowel, their fluid levels. So that's going to be an intestinal obstruction, small bowel obstruction. The difference is intussusception has a mass, a sausage-like mass. They don't have to say sausage-like, but they'll give you that full description, say there's no mass, and the answer is volvulus. They say there's a mass, it's intussusception. I talk about this in my GI PDF. Toby, since Corona, I started to watch videos of houses. Don't know why. Houses that are special bill apartments, lofts. Don't know why, but just curious about the style. Yeah, I mean, I've never like watched videos on houses. Like that's not something I like do. It's not a part of my life right now. Like that real estate investment is like not something I do like right now. I don't need to go into like my own finances. I don't think that's a necessary conversation. But if there's an investment I would choose, it's Bitcoin. But I'm not, even though I have Bitcoin, I'm not going in more at the moment. I think it'll collapse. I think it has another leg down, I've said, and then I'll go in hard when it goes down. If it doesn't go down, then it's like, fuck me. Okay. And then, wouldn't it be great to be able to time the market, be a billionaire? That'd be great. Everyone thinks they can time the fucking market and then they don't. But I'm just saying that rather than FOMOing in right now, I'm waiting until it goes down more. So like if it came down to like, do I want to invest in like a property or invest in like, I don't know, something else? I would prefer like, fine art or something. Like I would prefer to just put it into Bitcoin. Let's see. E multipass. Yeah, multipass. I should get a shirt that says multipass. I wonder if they have a Fifth Element shirt that says multipass. They have to. You reckon? SS Sjogren syndrome. How much time should I give to read a single block of UWorld? Should I also? Someone asked me this already. Didn't you already ask me? I thought you asked me already. I said a block of 40 questions would be 4 hours is acceptable, right? I said that. So an hour to do it, 3 hours to review. Because 10 questions an hour for an hour is fine, right? Like you do a block of 10, so it's an hour. So 6 minutes per question. So a minute to read the question, 5 minutes to read each question's explanations. So 1 minute per answer choice, right? Angela, I've never seen that movie. Let's watch it. Yeah. Fifth Element's fucking like one of the best movies ever. Fifth Element, I've said Fifth Element, Born Identity. I really like Pulp Fiction, The Cable Guy. Those are all really, really good movies. Toby, today talked with 5 Italians, study medicine in Italy, was promoting your content and style teaching recommended you fully for Content Rocks. Thanks, Toby. You were talking with 5 Italians in Poland, huh? Poland is 48, isn't it? Country code 48, or did I just make that up? Did I make that up? It's 48, isn't it? Fifth Element is a classic. Thank you for your response, Mike. Hoden, thank you. Sayed Ahmed, thanks. Imam Adid, thanks for being a member of my channel. I really appreciate it. Hey, Mike, if someone has 60 days to write step one, what's your advice in the best way? Easy. If you only have 60 days, it should literally be a month of QBank with 40 questions in the morning, and then my PDFs, my YouTube MCQs afternoon and evening, a month of that, followed by a month of the NBME exams. That's the long story short. That's how I would like split it up generally if you only had 2 months. Because the final month's really not going to change. Like it's got to be focusing on the NBME exams. Sayed Ahmed, traveling to Tokyo in October. Anything you might want from Pakistan? I'm not a chick, so guessing you won't want to meet me. That's true. I wouldn't want to meet you. Why would I want to meet some random fucking dude? Like, does that sound interesting to me? No, it does not. Like, it's not that we can't just have like guy friends in life. Like, I mean, there's no problem with that. It's like if it's a dude that like you say, oh, we'll grab beers or something. Like, it can happen. It can like there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I know Toby, you're in Poland, and like I've got guy friends in Poland, and I might go to Poland. I was in Poland in January, and I might go to Poland again either in December or January coming up. And I said, like, I'll go to like Warsaw, and then I could take a train with my guy friends to, I know you're like 2 hours away from Warsaw, and we'll all get like Polish beers and like burgers or something. Like that could be a way it happens, right? Where I happen to meet up with some fucking dude. But it's like, I'm not like interested in meeting up with guys, like guys coming to like Japan or something. It's like, let's meet up. It's like, not really. Like, do I know you? But I'm not in Tokyo anyway. I'm in Osaka. I'm not in Tokyo. David Wood. What's going on, David Wood? Step one most similar to the NBME forms comp. Or UWorld? The answer is the NBMEs and the Usmle are exactly the same. So NBME's comp and free 120, same as the real Usmle. UWorld's not the real Usmle. Mozart, hey, Dr. Mike, is there something you'd recommend for somebody who already failed step one 3 times, double question mark, apart from your tetrad? Appreciate your help. The answer is no. I would say you've got to go through the tetrad. Okay, so the tetrad being QBank, number 1, number 2, my PDFs, number 3, my YouTube MSQ playlist, number 4, the NBME content. In your situation, I have to like dissect out, the specifics of your history, when you took the NBMEs, how shitty you scored on them. Were they like 45% or were you getting like 61%? Like how shitty were your scores? And then I'd make an assessment as to like how much time you need, which QBank did you do? How long did it take you to do it? Like how consistent were you with it? So there's a lot of things I'd consider. David Wood, you've done 25 to 30 the past month, still need to do 31 for 120. Muskin MGN. Do you suggest memorizing Do you suggest memorizing the UWorld explanation? The answer is no. Also, UWorld questions seem harder too. Are they harder, or is it just me? I would say UWorld questions are harder than the real USMLE and the NBMEs. NBME questions, you can get left field ones, but they tend to be more straightforward. They tend to be more straightforward than like QBank. Like QBank will often have twists and turns or focus on like minutiae. That's what QBank will sometimes venture into. So I would say QBank questions are harder than NBME and the real USMLE for that matter. Toby, Poland is 48. Those Italians came for one semester to study there, to study here. My God, Polish girls love Italian dudes so much it's crazy. Ayesha Ali Khan, 2CK on 25th July, UWSA 2. I was in Italy last year. I went to Italy twice last year. Ayesha 2CK on 25th July, UWSA 2, 248. Took 2 days back. Okay. NBME 14, 247 today. Good. NBME 10, you're 259, 253, NBME 12. Really want to hit 250. What do I do? I sucked at psych, help needed. If your exam's on the 25th, I'd say there's nothing you can do at this point. I'd say there's nothing you should do at this point. Like your scores are not going to be made or broken by like random material you happen to study in like 2 days. Like you are going to score better if you're just well rested, and it's going to be coincidental. Like you have to understand, Aisha, literally the same fucking way you got a 259 and NBME 10 and you're happy about that, and you got a 247 on NBME 14 that you just took today and you're not so happy about that, that's how the real USMLE is going to go. No jokes. You're going to sit in one fucking cubicle versus another, and that test that loads that's different from the other cubicle could be a 247 versus a 259. This isn't like a joke or like speculative. Like it's literally what's happened with your NBME exams. So it's going to be a toss up. Okay, there's not going to be like information you magically study between now and like 2-3 days from now that's going to make or break. It's going to be just you being rested, not making stupid fucking like answers on certain questions, like not overthinking stuff, and like coincidentally just a form that's better, and you'll score like high 250s versus 240 like 5 and you're depressed. It's just coincidental. David Wu, thanks for the advice. Aortic regurg, could you please explain? I really don't want to explain that, AR. I explained that in my high-yield immuno PDF. Somatic hypermutation, affinity maturation. I talk about that in my high-yield immuno PDF. You haven't done my PDFs. Or aortic regurg. Just go to my free stuff tab on my website, go to high-yield immuno. You can look at the PDF directly from the website or just download it and Control F search like somatic hypermutation, affinity maturation. It's all there, and I compare and contrast them. Juan Degarte. What's a nicer cool country to go into residency with the ECFMG diploma? I mean, I think most people here are trying to go to the US, no? Khalid. How did you come up with the number 80? The fuck are you talking about? Hussein Alio. Can IMG who completed IM residency go into fellowship directly, or have to serve in underserved area for 3 years first? I stay within my lane. I don't know the exact situations that are tied to certain residencies as far as fellowship's concerned. Khalid, what questions are closest to the USMLE? The answer is the NBME exams at Free 120. They're all the same as the USMLE. Kanye, what would you say that you find it easy to make? Would you say that you find it easy to make male friends or no fucking interest? How do you find the time to keep up with people in your life if that's priority for you with your busy schedule? I can easily make male friends if I want to, but I don't really have interest in making male friends. What am I going to do with why would I want to hang out with a dude? Now, I have lots of male friends. Most of them are virtual. Like I have I'm hugely fucking social. This isn't a joke. Like this is social. Like right now, this is social. What we're doing. This is social. So like I interact with lots of fucking like guys that I'm like, I have guy friends, you know, basically overseas. Like I have tons of guy friends I chat with. But in real life, like, what utility do I have for spending time with a fucking dude? Like, I can meet up with guys, and just be like, hey, as I just talked about, I'm going to Poland in like December, January, meet a couple of my guy friends, get some beers or whatever. Like, I can meet up with guy friends on occasion, but like, I, you know, I don't know how much I need to go into my social life, but I would prefer to, if I socialize, right? Rather than spending time with dudes, I mean, I could spend my time with, you know, uh, female slash females, right? I mean, that's probably a better use of my time. Let's see. And I am busy as fuck. I mean, I don't really know what to say. I mean, there's pretty much not a day when I'm like not cracked out. Let's see. Syed Ahmed, Mike left with 15%. UWorld left it for the MBMEs. Do I focus on this 15% or UWorld wrongs? Don't have much time to choose. You have 15% of UWorld left, and you're asking whether to focus on that 15% or the UWorld wrongs. Just finish the 15% of UWorld you have left. Mozart, you did UWorld twice, average 65%. I don't know why you did it twice. I've said you only have to do it once. MBME's 20 or 30 twice, so about 31. Scores in February before my third attempt were around 70%. Okay. Too much like clutter in your question. The other NBMEs were around just too much clutter. You didn't ask a question. You just wrote me your life story of like your scores. Alvaro 37NF, what are your thoughts of using some offline MBMEs as QBanks instead as a measure of preparedness? I've said you can do offline NBMEs. Like I already have people do 20 through 24. Some people say, why not like 19, 18, etc.? Why not go back to 17? You can if you want. Another question people ask is, why do UWorld? Why not do like NBMEs 1 through 19 or something prior to 20 through 31? It's because the older NBMEs don't have explanations, right? So I think there's value in doing the explanations from an actual QBank like UWorld. Khalid, I'm out of med school for 5 years. What's the best way to study 2CK? I went to do a PhD after med school, no clinical experience. Well, if you're post-grad, it's very easy to study for 2CK, extremely easy. You're just going to do 2 months of UWorld or MBOS, followed by 3 to 3.5 weeks of all the CMS forms. You're going to do each form, there's 45, 50 forms, 50 question forms. You're going to do them 2 per day. So it's take you 3 to 3.5 weeks to finish. Then you're going to do maybe 6 through 8. Then you're going to do a double pass of all the CMS forms, free 120, 9 through 14. So UWorld's 2 months, and then all that NBME CMS stuff I talked about, that's another 2 months, 9 weeks. So that's 4 months for 2CK prep. David, maybe. I think so. David asked, do you think the work you got done has made you look more feminine? I think maybe like, women are obviously going to have fuller cheek / zygoma than males, but I don't think that's like a bad thing, because I think like, people can have like a mix of traits, I think that's fine. And also in Japan, it's different from Western culture in terms of what people are looking for as well. All right, guys, that's going to end the live stream. There's no more questions. I'll be on tomorrow. I'll see you guys later.